Now, because it is dual motor, you do get a bit of a wheel spin when you go. Listen, I'm sorry, Ridstar. I do apologise. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. This has got to be a new record. It's fair to say I misjudged this bike. I am so sorry. This bike is an absolute beast. This is bloody marvellous. And I think it's the bike I've been most impressed with. Don't believe the first ride. Wow. This is the Ridstar Q20 Pro. It's got two massive batteries to power two huge 1000 watt motors. It's 2000 watts in total, and I'm going to use that word again, but it's a bit of a beast. And it's looking like the cost wheel sitting at the top of the Sandy Lane hill climb test is under serious threat. Yes, here I am on the Ridstar Q20 Pro, and I've just bumped it up to pedal assist 5, dual motors, lots of torque, lots of power. Okay, so at the moment it is a slight hill, but that wasn't overly awe-inspiring, but definitely faster than your usual. So of course this kind of bike needs that twist throttle because there's not height adjustable seating, so it can be quite hard to pedal. You don't really want to be pedaling all the time. Obviously this is not a foldable bike, this is not your average e-bike. The seat does not go up or down, which means if you're really, really tall, you might be a bit hunched on it. For me, just sitting here to be cruising along, it is the perfect height. I'm 5'9". You'd be okay a bit shorter than that, maybe down to about 5'5". Taller than that, it is going to be a bit, especially if you want to pedal. Like even for me, if I pedal, my knees come quite high. But this isn't really a bike that you pedal, is it? Pedal assist 2, about 16 miles an hour. Pedal assist 3, 22 miles an hour. It does feel quite good actually. I've got to be careful though, because it is the kind of bike that doesn't really look that much like a bike. So it does get me a bit nervous, I will admit. It is a heavy bike at 40 kilograms. Bloody hell, really heavy and awkward to lift. Not that you'd want to lift it like this. Now, I love indicators on e-bikes, and I say this every time though. I wish they weren't switches that would stay in place. I wish it would just be a simple case of flipping it and then recentering, and then the indicator comes on for about 10 seconds. That would be enough, because there's never a clicky noise like in a car, and they're not self-cancelling, so I always end up leaving it on. What's the red button do? I just noticed a red button. What's the red button do?
More on that red button shortly. It's a lot more important than I think it is at this time, because at this time I've forgotten that dual motor e-bikes don't always have to run with both motors.
So the horn is that. Oh, that's quite loud. Well, that's very loud actually for an e-bike horn especially. So the red button just cuts the power. There's nothing on the other side, is there? Okay, that makes sense. So the red button just cuts out the power.
Well, yes, it does cut out the power, but the idea is that you'd use the red button to cut the power from the rear motor and the on-off switch to cut the power to the front. Only the front motor isn't connected properly, and I haven't realised yet. 33, 34, which is apparently the top speed of the bike, but I've got 35 now. Top speed! The suspension feels pretty nice. It's front and rear suspension. It's not adjustable, but I think on a bike like this, you kind of want it on all the time. You don't want a stiff ride on a bike like this. The throttle's a half grip throttle, and the hand grips have got that nice flared edge that spreads the surface area, makes it a bit more comfortable for your palms. Right, we've got some hot holes here. I'm just going to purposely go through. So we've got front and rear suspension, but also we've got 4-inch fat tyres. One thing I really should have done is adjusted the screws on the wing mirrors a bit better. Well, these wing mirrors are very nice and chunky, and they do come with the bike.
One thing I like about it is it does need a key, and it's got it by the hand grips, kind of like an ignition. Turn it off, it does not work. It doesn't matter if you turn the batteries on or anything like that, it will not work without the key in there. Each battery also has a key. The key for the battery is simply just to lock it in place, so you can't take that out. And kind of annoyingly, each battery uses a different key, but I can see why. Plug the key in, turn it around, and then the battery simply lifts out. One thing I did notice though is that it's really hard to put this battery in second. So put that battery in first, because this one's got a lot more headroom to get into place. And we've got the gears. That seems to kind of, it doesn't get in the way, you can actually go all the way up. Anyway, throttle only, power assist 5, up the hill, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, what are they doing? Hey, this is not performing as I expected. I'll be honest. I thought this was just going to beast up this hill. It's doing all right, but I don't think the time's going to be close to either the Cosway or the Lankalisi. And across the line. Right, yeah, interesting. Right, so let's just see how the gears work. So I'm in 7th gear, Shimano Tawny, it's pretty standard. You're going to struggle to help. I do not believe for 1 second that this bike has got 180 Newton meters of torque. Bloody hell, I'm sorry Ridstar, I do apologise, I was wrong, I was very, very wrong. I actually thought this was just going to absolutely tear up that hill. I was really hoping for something about around the 40-second mark, but oh well. Getting up Sandy Lane fast isn't everything. This has got to be a new record. Oh my word! We're going 22 miles an hour. I'm going to put it here. Whoa! That was a bit of a skiddy skid. There, that's where I pulled it, over there. That, I think the tyres could do with a bit of extra grip on normal roads. You know what I'm saying? The brakes themselves are absolutely fine, but the tyres lost grip pretty quickly. Let's talk about the batteries on this bike then, because if you saw my other video, I did have to send them back. They messaged me and said, if you've got a certain code on your battery, then do not use the battery, dispose of them straight away. Now remember, disposing of them, some people have said, oh, they've been told me to put them in water and stuff like that. You don't have to do that. You just take it to the tip, and they've got a section for car batteries. You can put it there. It's very easy. It's not something you want to do, but it is easy to do. What are the batteries? Now I've got some proper ones. They are 52 volts, so a bit more than your usual 48 for this kind of bike. 20 amp hours each, so in total 40 amp hours, and that means over 2 kilowatt hours of capacity, which is loads. Oh, I was indicating right again, come on now. So that 2 kilowatt hours translates to what they reckon is over 110 miles of range with the 2 batteries, which is mad really. But again, whenever they say a range, it's never a full power range, so you wouldn't get 110 miles if you're on full power like I've been. And I know I'm repeating myself nearly every video. You've got to weigh less as well. It comes with this cool little bag, by the way, for your phone, which is very nice. Bit of a storage bag there to put your tools in or whatever you want, and you can keep your phone at the top, which is handy if you want to be able to see your phone but you want to keep it out of the rain. However, the touchscreen doesn't really work when it's inside. It does a little bit. It's got a nice colour screen, although I can see my reflection in it. The figures are extremely clear, and there are various settings, and it's from here you control the pedal assist setting. It's got rear light, brake light, a nice big front LED light as well. It's got a lot of good stuff going for it. The only slight disappointment for me is the sandy lane time. Even taking into account sandy lane, just a bit over £1,000 is fantastic.
And it was just about to get better.
Oh no. Oh no. Right, I'm gonna have to, oh, I think I've made a big mistake. Please I have.
And yes, I had indeed made a big mistake. All this time, the front motor was not correctly connected, so I've been judging it as a single motor e-bike. It's basically been a review of the Ridstar Q20, not Pro. So I went home, plugged it in again, and now it's the Pro. And we need to go to Sandy Lane again.
So let's just talk about how to disable the front and back motors. The front motor is this. So off means front motor is off. This is the back motor. So once pushed in, the back motor is on. So now they're both on. So let's go again. Okay, there's a difference. There we go. That's what was meant to happen before. Oh my word. Oh wow. Right, night and day difference. This absolutely changes everything. So let me talk about this bike in single motor mode. In single motor mode, it's a very nice bike and it goes 35 miles an hour. So that's pretty impressive. And obviously, being a single motor bike, going up Sandy Lane, it wasn't the best, but it was all right still. So if you want that Q20 and you think you'd like to go over 30 miles an hour, but you only need that single motor, then the Q20 is going to do you absolutely fine. It's about £1,000. If you want the dual motor though, basically just for extra fun, then for about 1,405, well, for about 1,450, this is bloody good value. Oh my god. Now, what I do hope though is I haven't totally stunted it Sandy Lane time, because I've already done 9 miles. So now we're going to go back to Sandy Lane and do it all over again. I've also adjusted my wing mirrors so I can see properly. Now Alex is in a good mood. So by the way, because it is dual motor, it means you can do front wheel drive only if you want. Or you can do rear wheel drive. When it's in front wheel drive, it's actually all wheel drive, because if you pedal, then you're actually doing the rear wheels. But this isn't really a pedal bike, is it? Let's be honest. A bit of clarification about how the batteries work. Basically, the rear battery powers the rear motor. The front battery powers the front motor. But the rear battery also powers all the electronics. So you need a working rear battery for the bike to turn on. So if I was to turn off the rear battery, the bike turns off. You turn on the front battery, it still won't come on. So to turn it on, we need power at the back. So turn that on, bike now turns on. Turn the back motor on, that one works. Turn the front motor on, nothing works. So I have to turn the front battery on, and now the front motor works. So yeah, bit weird. And I'm guessing that because it's the rear battery that controls the electronics, the capacity reading on the computer is actually just the capacity of the rear battery. So something to remember is, if you're running 2 motors, you are going to run down the battery a lot faster than you would just on one. So if you think you're going to run out of power on the rear battery, you can actually just turn off the rear motor, turn on the front motor, and you'll be saving the rear battery for your electronics. Now, if the rear battery does run out, the bike will turn off. So what you'd have to do then is swap the battery positions over. You could just run it all on the rear motor because you might prefer it, and when it runs out, you just swap them over. It's a bit weird, but for the price of the bike, it's not really a big problem. Wow, it is so different. I'm pretty sure it feels like it accelerates faster than the Lankalisi and the Coswheel. So I'm going to get over this roundabout, I'm going to knock it down, save a bit of power before Sandy Lane, and see how it goes. I mean, that was easy to get away, wasn't it then? Whoa! I can't believe I just did a whole lap of my usual route using just one motor. This is insane. And you know what? I think that rear shock
isn't exactly expensive, but it's all right, you know.
If you're somewhere like this, you wouldn't want to pedal this away at this point, even in gear 1.
Now, because it is dual motor, you do get a bit of a wheel spin when you go, when it pushes it back and that front wheel goes around. So let's pop it up, pedal assist 5, press the on button to turn on the front motor. Rear motor was already on. Listen.
Bloody hell. The tyres, they're gonna get annoyed with this bike. Front motor is on. Rear motor is on.
Now, before we take the bike up sandy lane as intended, let's just take a really quick look at what's in the box and how easy it all went together.
In the box there are front lights and indicators, phone holder, wing mirrors, 2 3-amp chargers, wheel nut cap, zip ties, manual, pedals and tools.
The box, as you might expect for this kind of bike, was very large. It would have been nice if there was some heavy duty ties around it. That would help a lot with moving the box. The bike was well protected and all you have to attach is the front wheel, the front light and the pedals. Oh, and you have to connect the front motor. Give it a big push, because I didn't.
So, sandy lane, 2 motors this time. 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh. Big difference already. Oh wow. Right, yes. Apparently we're going 31 miles an hour. 34 miles an hour. Oh, this might be a new record. This might be a new record.
Bloody hell. I'm sorry, Ridstar. I do apologise. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. This has got to be a new record. Oh my word. And cross the line. Okay, left, come over. So in the end it did beast it up the hill with an astonishing time of 33 seconds, a new sandy lane record.
Alright, let's turn around and go back.
It's fair to say I misjudged this bike. I am so sorry. This bike is an absolute beast. Right, I'm putting this at the start of the video. Don't believe the first ride. Wow. Let's face it. This is going to upset a lot of people. So, let's reevaluate this bike for £1,450 English pounds. But I'm pretty sure I've got a code for like a 10% discount or something like that, which is a lot of extra money off. You are getting a close to 40 mile an hour e-bike with hydraulic brakes, 2 motors, massive hill climb power. This is bloody marvellous, and I think it's the bike I've been most impressed with. It's also got a really comfy saddle. Now, because some people might not want to watch a video of someone saying wow all the time just because a bike is fast, we can't forget that this is still a review, so are there any negatives? Well, yes there are. In the first half, my main disappointment was that for a dual motor 2000 watt bike, the performance was a bit underwhelming. But now that's all sorted, I really do think the bike is brilliant, especially for the price, which is really quite mad. Evidenced by the brake test though, I think the tyres maybe should have been proper road tyres, because for the speeds the bike can go, I don't think the tyres applied are quite grippy enough. Yes, the bike could go off-road because of the chunky tyres, but most people won't do that. I would also like to have seen foot pegs for a rear passenger. If you're planning on mainly pedaling this bike, you won't enjoy it if you're over 6 foot. To be fair, you won't need to generate any force, the bike is that fast. You'll mainly be ghost pedaling, but your knees will still be getting a bit close to your face if you're lanky. But who would really buy this to pedal it? Let us know in the comments if you are. And finally, of course, don't forget, the legal limit for e-bikes on EU and UK roads is 250 watts. Whilst you can reduce the speed of this bike, Ridstar do not make any claims that the bike is 250 watts. This is why I took it to a huge private estate in Latvia to test it. If you want to ride this bike every day, you do so at your own risk.
I've done 12 miles now this morning. Let's go. And I can just, as long as they go, I can go. It's ridiculous. You can get 2 people on this as well. You can get someone in the back. You need foot pegs. unless they were like young, but I wouldn't really want to go fast on this bike with a youngster. I'm talking your kids, by the way, I'm not talking like random youngsters. 35, 36, it's so much fun, it's so much fun. I would highly recommend wearing proper padding if you're going to go this fast regularly, and gloves, definitely gloves. This helmet is rated as an e-bike helmet, so it's a bit stronger than your standard bike helmet. However, I'd also recommend face protection. I do have a helmet from Nobleman Tech. I haven't been wearing that much recently, just because it's easy to talk. But yeah, that helmet from Nobleman Tech, full face, very nice helmet indeed. And you can always take the chin guard off as well, and you can have it fully blacked out. It's a cool looking helmet, which would go very well with this cool looking bike. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, eventually, then give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs down. And of course, if you're interested in getting this bike, please consider using the links that we got in the description, because it's affiliate link. All it does is take you to the exact same place you buy it from, but it lets them know I sent you there, and they'll give me a little bit of commission, which will help me very much run this channel. So I've dropped a couple of days at work in order to, I'll indicate left again, in order to do a few more videos a week, well maybe one more video a week. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this. This was the Ridstar Q20 PRO, a freaking awesome bike, very impressed, and it's very well made. So, until next time, ride safe.